All right, folks, let's talk about savings, or rather, the lack thereof. Nearly 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 stashed away in savings. About 45% of Americans have exactly $0 in their savings accounts. That's like going skydiving without a parachute, except the ground is your retirement. Some people are doing just fine, but for the majority, the piggy bank is as empty as a politician's promise. Even those approaching retirement age are finding their nest eggs are more like nest crumbs. This isn't just a problem for individuals. It's a ticking time bomb for the entire country. When people can't save, they can't weather financial storms or invest in their future. They can't contribute to the economy in meaningful ways. It's like trying to build a house with toothpicks and bubble gum. Eventually, it's going to come crashing down. So, who are these mythical creatures who actually have savings? Only about 16% of Americans have $10,000 or more saved up. In a country of over 330 million people, only a small fraction have what financial experts would consider a decent emergency fund. The top 1% of Americans hold about 32% of all the wealth in the country. It's not just unfair, it's diabetes-inducingly unbalanced. Even among those who are saving, many aren't saving enough. Financial advisors recommend having at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up. But for most Americans, that's about as likely as me winning an Olympic gold medal in synchronized swimming. The median retirement account balance for Americans in their 60s is about $172,000. Spread that out over 20 to 30 years of retirement, and suddenly, you're looking at a diet of ramen noodles and tap water in your golden years. Why are so many Americans living paycheck to paycheck? It's not because we're all splurging on avocado toast and lattes. First up, income inequality. The gap between the rich and the poor in America is wider than the Grand Canyon. While the top earners have seen their income skyrocket, wages for the average worker have barely budged in decades. Next, the cost of living. Housing, healthcare, education. Prices for these essentials have been climbing fast. In many cities, rent can eat up half of a person's income. Then there's debt. Americans are drowning in it. Student loans, credit card debt, car loans. It's like financial Jenga. The average American household carries about $137,000 in debt. Section 4. The Domino Effect. How empty wallets hurt everyone. When a large portion of the population can't save, it creates a ripple effect that touches every corner of the economy. When people don't have savings, they're less likely to make big purchases. This leads to reduced demand, which in turn can lead to job losses and economic slowdown. When people don't have savings, they're more likely to rely on credit to make ends meet. This leads to more debt, which means more interest payments, which means less money for savings. It's a vicious cycle, like a hamster wheel of financial doom. When people can't save for emergencies or retirement, they're more likely to rely on government assistance. This puts pressure on already strained systems like Social Security and Medicaid. It's like trying to support an elephant with a toothpick. Something's gotta give. Section 5. Band-Aids won't cut it. The need for real solutions. We need systemic changes that address the root causes of the savings crisis. First off, we need to address income inequality. This means policies that ensure fair wages, protect workers' rights, and create opportunities for economic mobility. We also need to tackle the rising cost of living. This means addressing the housing crisis, making healthcare more affordable, and finding ways to make education accessible without saddling people with crippling debt. And let's not forget about retirement planning. We need to strengthen Social Security, encourage and incentivize retirement savings, and create a safety net that doesn't look more like a colander. Because let's face it, relying on winning the lottery is not a solid retirement strategy. It's about making sure everyone has a fair shot at the American dream, not just those born on third base thinking they hit a triple. Section 6. Time to break the piggy bank. A call for change. The savings crisis in America is a national emergency. Take a hard look at your finances. Start small if you have to. Even $5 a week helps. But individual action isn't enough. We need policy changes to make saving easier. Automatic enrollment, tax incentives, and matching contributions. Education is key. Teach practical financial knowledge. Teach kids budgeting, saving, and investing urgently. Break open that piggy bank. We can't ignore this crisis.